Mariko Berg, Realtor with Bridgewell Real Estate Group, and in today's Tri-Cities Neighborhood Guide, I'm going to be breaking down the very prestigious Westwood Plateau. This is one of the top areas in all of Coquitlam. I'm going to be going through absolutely everything that you need to know. Of course, I'm going to be going through the area and real estate, which, as you guys know, is always my favorite, but I'm also going to be breaking down things like schools, outdoor areas, things to do, amenities, all that jazz. So why don't we just get into it? And so in terms of the area that makes up Westwood Plateau, we're actually in the most northern area of Coquitlam. And so Westwood Plateau is bordered by Port Moody, Heritage Woods area on the west side of things. Generally, everything just to the east of Forest Park Way and its substreets is going to be Westwood Plateau. On the south side of the border, you have David, which is a very clear border for Westwood Plateau. And then on the east side, you have Pipeline as that boundary, which is bordered by Coquitlam's Hockaday neighborhood. Because you are the most northern, you don't really have anything else on top of you in terms of Westwood Plateau. You're going all the way to the top, and that is that edge of Coquitlam. So in terms of real estate with Westwood Plateau, you have a lot of different options. You've got condos, you've got townhouses, and you've got detached homes. And you actually have mansions too, which is that next step above the detached home. In terms of the general ages of the product, you're typically dealing with product that is built primarily within the 90s, but also coming into that early 2000s. For the condos, most of them I would say are off of David, but you do have a few other pockets within the area, specifically further up, that you might see condos as well. In terms of condo product, the two most popular kind of like mini communities is going to be Dayany Springs and Silver Springs. These are both polygon built. They're very community based. They've got that community center really similar to Port Moody's Klahani neighborhood, so a lot of people do really like that as well. Most of the condo product is wood frame. There is a very kind of like one-off situation actually, and like rare in all of Coquitlam as well, where you have a mid-rise concrete building. It's called Cascade. They're off of Parkway and Panorama. So if you are looking for a very rare product, specifically concrete, then that might be a building complex that you want to check out in terms of condos. Moving on to townhouses, Dayany Springs and Silver Springs are still popular in terms of their townhouse product. It is a little bit newer in that 2000s range. You're going to see more of like a 3-story stacker with that kind of one, generally in the 1,300 to 1,500 square foot range. But what I really like about Westwood Plateau in terms of their townhouse product is that they also actually have like a lot more of like an older, wider floor plan that feels very homey, two-story with a basement style, some of them with views, and you have like big floor plans for these townhouses. I'm talking like easily 2,000 plus, but very consistently like in that 2,000-ish range, all the way up to 3,000 square feet. And this is just for a townhouse. So if you are looking for like a little bit of a wider plan, a different plan in terms of a townhouse, then Westwood Plateau is definitely an area that you're going to want to check out. Finally, detached homes. We have huge detached homes here, very consistently 2-story with a basement or 3-story homes. A lot of them have fantastic views. Keep in mind, like, we are on a plateau, so you have that little bit of an incline, and so with that comes views, but also with that comes snow as you come up closer to the top, so something minor to be aware of. But in terms of the interior square footages, you are like very consistently seeing like 3,000s, 4,000s, like all in that range in terms of interior square footage. And you still actually have a number of bigger homes that are consistently in that 5,000 square foot range. And as I said, a lot of mansions that are like 8, 9, 10,000 square feet interiors. Like, this is huge spaces in terms of interior space. Because you have such a large variance in terms of that interior square footage, the lot size also varies quite greatly. So you have, you know, some spaces that are smaller lots, kind of in like this 3,600 to 4,000 square foot range. And you have like everything all the way from like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 up to like the 10,000, like 15, 16,000 square foot ranges. So lots and lots of variance. One other thing to note about this area is that they also have freehold strata detached homes. So even though they're detached, if you are looking in this area, just like really pay attention to what type of land ownership it is. Is it freehold non-strata or is it freehold strata? Most of the detached homes here will be freehold non-strata, but you'll just want to keep an eye out for a few. Specifically, there are some off of Pine Tree that have this strata portion to it, where even though they're detached homes, they still have a fee that they're going to be pitching into for the strata and things like, you know, common areas or common walkways, driveways, things like that, that will all go through or towards that maintenance. So safe to say, lots of different product within the Westwood Plateau area. If you are looking for a bigger home, if you're looking for a view, if you're looking for something that's a little bit newer, or even something that like you might not be able to find in other areas like a wider townhouse, then this is definitely an area that you're going to want to check out in terms of real estate. So moving on to schools and outdoor areas, I think the schools is really important to note with regards to Westwood Plateau because you also have a lot of variance. So in Coquitlam, we have elementary school from K to 5, middle school from 6 to 8, and then secondary school from 9 to 12. And so it's normal to see like different options in terms of elementary school here. Just to name a few, you have Panorama Heights, which has a French immersion program. You have Bramblewood and a couple others. The middle school catchment here is Summit Middle, but for the secondary schools, it's very unique to have 3 different secondary school catchments all within one sub area. So if you are looking to buy within this area and you do care about the secondary school catchments, just pay a lot of attention to where the home that you're buying is with regards to the school catchment, because it could be for Heritage Woods Secondary School, which is actually a Port Moody school. It could be for Glen Eagle Secondary, or it could be for Pine Tree Secondary. So that's the schools portion of this. Moving on to the outdoor areas, you have lots of outdoor areas within Westwood Plateau, definitely to enjoy. Just right behind me here, you have Hampton Park, which is a nice outdoor field. You've got lots of different field options as well, also associated to a lot of the schools. You've got Panorama Park and Playground. You've got Ridge Trails, all within the neighborhood itself. Not too far away from you as well, actually right on that border of Westwood Plateau, is the Coquitlam Crunch Stairs. It's kind of like a mini grouse grind that also has a trail that goes all the way to the top of Westwood Plateau, and then you can go up and down as many times as you want, usually not too many, otherwise your calves are going to be pretty sore. And then at the bottom of Westwood Plateau, right off of that David area and those condos that I was talking about, literally right below it is Lafarge Lake and Town Center Park. So this is like a massive outdoor space that a lot of the North Coquitlam area shares. Town Center Park, you've got a spray park, you've got outdoor fields, you've got a running track, you've got a ton of different options there. And then with Lafarge Lake, you have tennis courts, you've got like a big outdoor kind of lake area that you can walk around and do loops or run around. You've got a gorgeous amphitheater there that they hold various outdoor events at. So it's really like a pinnacle space within the North Coquitlam area that is an outdoor space for absolutely everybody to enjoy. In terms of like other things to do around here, you also have Westwood Plateau Golf Course, which is actually within the sub area itself. If you are a golfer, I'm sure you'll love it there. You've got 2 different options. You've got a 12-hole executive course, which also has a driving range, and then the fairways, grill, and patio. And you also have the 18-hole championship course. And this is one of the top 50 golf courses in all of Canada. Westwood Plateau is like literally right at your back door when you live in this neighborhood. So as I said, if you're an avid golfer, then you're definitely going to love this sub area. Lots to do, both indoors and outdoors. You have great schools here, and so if any of those things are important to you, then this is definitely an area you want to check out. So last but not least, we have shopping, amenities, and accessibility. Right now I am in Westwood Village, which is really your main space to go to if you're looking for something specifically within the Westwood Plateau area. You have an IGA here, you've got a Shoppers Drug Mart, you've got a Starbucks, you've got a liquor store, you've got a number of different smaller restaurants as well. And so if you are looking for something specifically within your sub area that is walkable or only a short drive away, then this is definitely a space that you're going to want to check out. If you're looking for other options, I mean, you have a ton of spaces that are only about 5 minutes minutes away in terms of groceries. You've got a Save on Foods and Pine Tree Village. You've got Superstore. You've got TNT and a Walmart just at Coquitlam Center Mall, all not too far away. So those are all really great options if you are looking for alternative grocery spaces outside of just this Westwood Plateau neighborhood. As I mentioned, you have Coquitlam Center Mall. That's really, really close by. It's one of the biggest malls in all of the Tri-Cities. Obviously has a lot of different shopping options. It's got a Best Buy. As I said, it's got the Walmart and the TNT. So that's definitely a cool place for people to go and hang out, shop, do their thing if you're looking for something nearby. You also have the Coquitlam Public Library and the City Aquatic Center that are all within that kind of like North Coquitlam hub right around Coquitlam Center Mall. And this is all just right below Westwood Plateau, essentially off of Pine Tree. And so definitely accessible options within a 5-minute drive or so, and even a short bus ride. So moving on to accessibility and buses, I mean, Westwood Plateau is a very, very big sub area. And so obviously accessibility to a bus route that will link up to a SkyTrain is really going to depend on what street you live on. So just pay attention to that, pay attention to the bus routes and whatnot. You do have a number of bus pickups kind of off of like Plateau or David, just generally, and those will essentially link up to the nearest SkyTrain station and Coquitlam Central Station. And so the nearest SkyTrain to you is going to be Lafarge Lake Station. So that's right around that town center Lafarge Lake area that I said was off of David. That is just lower part of Westwood Plateau. But if you're looking for something a little bit more in terms of accessibility, like a SkyTrain or the West Coast Express, that link up would essentially be Coquitlam Central Station. And so that is also quite nearby. You've got the West Coast Express Rapid Train that'll take you straight into Waterfront Station. You've got the SkyTrain. Throughout the Tri-Cities, we have the Evergreen Line, but of course that will also link up to other options like the Expo Line or the Millennium Line closer to the Lougheed Town Center area. So overall, I mean, it is a very accessible area. As I said, you're just gonna have to pay attention to what street you're on. And I still personally would recommend having a car if you are moving to the Westwood Plateau area, specifically because it's so big and you have a lot of variance in terms of streets with regards to accessibility, and you will obviously have a lot more flexibility to go to places nearby if you do have a car. So that's something that I would keep in mind. I mean, overall, I've gone through everything that you need to know about Westwood Plateau. You've got great schools within the sub area. You've got a lot of access to outdoor spaces, a lot of things nearby in terms of indoor spaces as well, such as Coquitlam Center Mall, aquatic centers, public libraries, groceries, all that jazz. You have beautiful homes, big homes, homes with views. And so if all of those things are things that you're looking for, then Westwood Plateau is definitely an area for you to consider.